Yo, what up? How is it going? Today we'll be doing a VOD review for Origen versus G2. This is week 1, day 1 of the LEC, so it's the first day of the year. I don't even know what LEC stands for, League of Legends European Championship. I don't even know, man. I'm so used to European LCS. Anyways, cool. This was a really exciting game. I already knew I was going to do G2's game, just because I wanted to do G2, because you know it's exciting with Perkz playing AD carry and all that good stuff. So I already wanted to do that, and then this game was actually really cool. It's really hype. So anyways, let's get right into it. Before we get right into it, I love the LEC rebrand. Like I love how they're getting away from being an LCS because they were just like the cheap version of NA-LCS, you know? Like they had to distance themselves because they were just budget NA-LCS, you know what I mean? NA-LCS was just better, like the production value and everything. I don't know. But I hate this. I really hate this. I wish it was like the on the big screen, you know? Like I hate this screen. Maybe I'll learn to love it, but I really don't like it. But anyways, all right, let's go through the draft real quick. Bans are pretty standard. Aatrox ban, all that good stuff. So these bans seem pretty normal, nothing too crazy. The Yasuo ban in there makes a lot of sense considering that Perkz is a mid lane player. They can flex that around. That makes a lot of sense. Caps is a very good Yasuo player as well. So that the Yasuo ban makes a lot of sense. Especially right there. Lucian ban makes a lot of sense. Lucian priority has gone up a whole lot. That makes a whole lot of sense. Cool. Let's go through the draft real quick. I left the draft in the order that they selected, this is not in the order in which the players are going to be playing. Like it's not, you know, Jankos obviously isn't playing Rakan. I left it in this order for a specific reason because I wanted to make sense out of the draft real quick. Blue side obviously has first pick, so Origen first pick Cassio. That's just for a power pick purposes. So Cassio is one of the strongest champions in the game, so that was just for power pick purposes. Nukeduck's Cassio is pretty good, and Cassio is one of the strongest champions in the game, so that just made sense for power pick purposes. Just a very strong champion, so not really for like comp specific things, right? And then Urgot. As soon as Urgot was picked, Urgot is probably the strongest or second strongest champion in the game, probably. And as soon as Urgot was picked, I think that completely locked in motion what G2 had a plan coming into this game. And whatever Origen wanted to draft around, like, they weren't ready for this. So, they get the Draven lock in right here. This used to be Sheriff, but it's Patrik now. No, this is Patrik. Draven's a pretty good pick in the meta. I was surprised I didn't see a lot of Draven pick. I know people in Korea don't really like Draven all that much, but I think Ezreal, Lucian, Draven are all really good. Mid-game, you know, early mid-game carries are all really good. Some other AD carries are also very playable. But Ezreal, Lucian, Draven are all really good. So Draven wasn't that weird. The LEC people were freaking out when they picked Draven, but Draven's not that weird. That made a whole lot of sense. Get the powerful bottom lane. Locked in the insta-locked Morgana. I didn't like that in the first rotation, but Morgana just enables Draven to run forward, so that makes a little bit of sense. But I probably could have just saved that pick to get another power pick if they wanted a power pick, but they probably didn't know what they wanted. They probably wanted to just save for a counter pick, maybe. They probably just thought maybe they just wanted that. So anyways, they get to Morgana, so that's a powerful bottom duo, you know. They can just a powerful 2v2 duo, so that's fine there. Over here they get Rakan, that's just a powerful engaged champion, and then they get the Zoe. So right here, once they have the Zoe, this pretty much figures out, it tells Origen, okay, this is top and mid for sure. This is top and mid. And then this is support. So that's pretty telltale. And now we're getting down a road of weirdness in just a second. So now the second ban phase goes through. Pretty standard picks over here. You know, we have the Gragas, the Sion, just really powerful picks. Makes a whole lot of sense. But then we get the Karthus jungle. Not that weird. If you haven't been paying attention to LCK, there's been a lot of the Karthus jungle. There was Karthus jungle in the Kespa Cup, and then has just recently been played I want to say Spirit played Karthus. I want to say Spirit did. Yeah, it's not that weird. It's a really hard scaling jungler, so you basically just farm up. It's kind of the style you play on. You farm faster than almost any other jungler, so you farm up and then you get level 6 and then you pop everybody. And his ganks aren't that bad, but they're not the best. But you get level 6 before anybody else, and then you just blow everybody up. And then it gets really weird once they lock in the Jayce. When I saw this draft, I was like, okay, this is kind of weird. And then when they shuffled them around, you can even hear Jankos. Listen.
Gives you a lot of options across
Listen.
Oh, okay.
Oh wait, whoa. Okay, all right. I'll let them do their trades real quick. So, let's see. Okay, all right. This is what it actually looks like. And so obviously we've already seen the match, so we kind of knows how this goes. So let's talk about win conditions real quick. So let's quickly talk about Origen's win condition. Obviously, Origen doesn't win the match. Let's talk about what they can do to win. So this isn't really Origen's fault that they lose this match. This was weird that this comp came about. I mean, this isn't something you play against often. And look at Perk's face; he knows what he's about to do. So let's look at where the strengths are. So whenever I look at drafts, you want to have a clear goal or a clear strong side of the map. So the clear strong side of the map that Origen has drafted is the bottom side of the map. So obviously there's not a lot of data on how Draven, Morgana does into Zoe, Rakan, but you know it doesn't take a a rocket scientist to tell you that Draven probably shoves in that lane. You know, Perma shoves in that lane and has the advantage. So that's for sure going to be their strong side of the map. So the mid lane, Cassio probably has a slight advantage, slight outranging. You know, has an outranging advantage, but nothing too crazy. Urgot definitely has an advantage in the top lane, but it's nothing overbearing. That matchup is pretty much figured out. It's nothing like a Fiora Aatrox where it's gonna be pretty overbearing at some point. It's nothing too crazy, but an obvious strong side of the map for Origen is gonna be the bot side. Whatchamacallit, G2 doesn't really have a strong side of the map, which is something I don't like typically for drafts, but they drafted for a very specific reason, and this was a weird comp, but they drafted for a very specific reason. They have a poke comp. So what they want to do is they want to get Karthus, basically they want to get Karthus level 6, right? They want to get Karthus level 6 so then he can impact the game, right? Get his lanes out of lane and then poke. And then get Karthus to level 11, and they'll hit another spike. So the way they play out fights is Zoe looks for a poke, Jayce looks for a poke, Karthus ults, Urgot ults, Rakan cleans up, and then you guys can fight. If they want to try to force an engage on them, Karthus puts up a wall of pain. They disengage with the Zoe bubble. They disengage with Rakan. They disengage with Urgot ultimate. So there's so much disengage. With G2's comp, that Origen kind of walked into a trap. It was pretty tough. So the way Origen could win this game is they just hard snowball bottom, just get Draven, get Draven to that like 20 minute victory, and just get their Draven to a 20-minute victory, and get their just snowball through that side of the map, and their Cassio gets strong. And then they just have the two giant meatballs and Cassio and Draven who one-shot everybody. So they could just do that. But they're just not prepared for what's about to happen. So anyways, with that all out of the way, let's just get into it. Anyways, let's put it at ×2 speed. Wait, I want it on 50 frames. What? Anyways, this is a really interesting game to watch, but it was cool to watch like a pure poke comp. It was really cool how they set it up, because I wasn't expecting it when I saw their comp. I was like, well, this is an interesting bot lane. I was like, definitely Rakan Zoe does not straight up beat a Draven Morgana. That's not gonna go well for them. And I was like, I do see how this makes sense with Jayce Zoe poking people in the Karthus. Okay, I could see this working, but I was a little bit skeptical because I'm so concerned about scaling teams. Teams that don't do things in the early game. But Origen don't capitalize on all that well. They need to snowball a little bit better throughout the bot lane, but we can kind of watch how vision control works. Cause it may have been something on G2's part. They may have been working their vision control a little bit better. I wasn't paying all that much attention when I was watching this in terms of vision control when I watched this the first time. So they may have had a good stranglehold on vision control, but definitely Origen needed to snowball through bottom a little bit better if they wanted to get this victory. Watch. All right, so junglers. They both start on their blue side. All right, you see by the time that Gragas has cleared 2 camps, Karthus has cleared 3 camps, and is on his way to his 4th. He clears things so fast. All right. So Karthus just going for a full clear. So when you're playing Karthus, Karthus jungle doesn't want to fight the enemy jungler, even though like Gragas isn't like a brawler jungler. Still doesn't want to see him. He still doesn't want to like get engaged in a 2v2 with a laner and the enemy jungler. So he's just gonna let him double scuttle. He doesn't really care about that. He just wants his camps to reset. He doesn't really care. So that's fine. That's an interesting matchup going on right here. Other than that, it's pretty standard CSing. Karthus rolling down there, just getting some vision control while he's waiting for his camps to respawn. His Gromp's about to respawn. Gragas getting a recall. Clearing out some vision. Yep, getting a gank right there. Yep. Nukeduck actually plays that really well. So when Nukeduck played that gank, he put the miasma on top of Jayce, so preventing Jayce from jumping rather than putting it on Karthus. But we don't really have to talk about micro mechanics. I want to say maybe a kill happens here. No, just like ignite on down the Mithy. Let's stop in and check on vision really quick, or we'll play in normal time real quick because stuff's happening kind of quickly. Alright, so Gragas just predatoring. Jankos doesn't get like a huge. I think Kold plays this matchup not too bad. Yeah, so Gragas is just pressuring up so that Draven can get a free recall right here. The main purpose of that, as well as just pressuring Karthus off of his jungle, but he didn't do that successfully. Jankos doesn't get a huge minion advantage like I've seen in the LCK a little bit. He's just looking for complete minion resets on his camp, so he's doing that. He's about to path up to his Krugs, it looks like. Alright, let's put it back in times 2. Not much happening. Bot lane's where all the action happens. I do want to see vision after the first kill on bot lane because they get the kill solo. So I want to see vision control after the first kill, and then after that is when actual stuff will be important. Let's do normal speed for a bit. Alright, there's Cap stats, there's Nukeduck stats. Who cares what they did last year? Yep, so just trading blues. Jayce is going to get blue over here as well. Yeah, so right now Origen actually has complete vision control of the river. They actually have complete vision control of river, mainly because Karthus doesn't want to leave his jungle. So something that they could be looking to do is pressure Karthus out of his whole entire bot quadrant with the Gragas and the Draven and Morgana. So they could get vision control around his blue buff, that whole entire area. Because Jayce shouldn't be getting the shove onto Cassio either. It's about an even lane, so They should be looking to get vision control around the blue buff and try to pressure Karthus out of his jungle right there, so he can't just constantly reset farm. So they should have control of this entire side of the map. Boom. Oh, that bind would have been really good if we would have got it. See, they did just get vision control up there, but they're not getting it around the times that they need to because the camp's already reset. So they need to get those about 30 seconds quicker than that. Jankos is still just getting his free farm. Let me see that again, because the commentators were talking about Mithy kind of fakes him out, I believe. He pretends like he's going for Perkz, but then he just goes for Mikyx. Yeah, he walks up like he's going for Perkz, and then he just turns around and kills Mikyx. Yeah, that's pretty good. Boom. Important thing there, though, Draven didn't get the adoration stacks, and then Karthus just channeled his ult. But that's why you just power farm on Karthus. That's why it would have been good if Origen was pressuring him out of this bot side, because that's where they have the advantage. So if they had been pressuring him out of this bot side, maybe he wouldn't have been level 6 by then. Because that's the thing about Karthus jungle is like if you're playing Karthus jungle and you're getting invaded, you're having a terrible time. Like if you're missing your like his 1v1 ability is actually really bad. I mean, unless you're just landing RBQs, but against someone like Gragas who's a little bit more mobile. Oh, this is a nice play by Caps. He just sidesteps everything. And a Draven that's pressuring him up. You should be able to control his jungle a little bit better. That's just a visual bug. But yeah, you don't want to let Karthus just free farm in the jungle. Or if he's free farming, you want to do something on the map. But the problem is the way they draft is they don't have advantages anywhere else but the bottom side. So they should just be looking to just complete control of this bottom side of the map, I think, is how they would want to play this in order to not just letting the Karthus get super powerful, you know? Letting the Karthus get free kills like this, getting powerful, you know, get a free Dark Harvest stack, get a free kill. You know, not punishing them for taking, you know, the scaling jungling option. Not punishing them for taking a Zoe bottom lane, you know? Against the, you know, the super powerful Draven. Should be punishing that. That was really good. That deny with the Draven axe. Oh, Rakan didn't have cleanse. Okay, when I watched that live, I was like, why didn't he cleanse that? But he didn't quite have cleanse. Go ahead, Predator. Yep, so now they're just pressuring to get plates. But Gragas is just hanging out over there. And he can take one of the jungle camps. This is what they should be doing the whole time, right? She should keep pressuring Karthus out of his jungle. With the power of Draven Morgana. Oh, I thought Karthus took that for a second. That would have been really hilarious. That's just what they should be doing the whole time. So instead of putting their vision line in the river, just put their vision line in the enemy jungle, you know? Which they're doing a little bit. They're just doing it a little bit late. Yeah, and Karthus can solo dragon so fast. He solos objectives so fast. Look at that shit. Insane. Not much you can do about that. Yeah, their bot lane had the reset. Not much you can do about that. This was a nice play. A nice TP flank play. No point of Sion just staying in lane against Urgot. Better to get advantage on the side of the map. So they are playing around their bot lane advantage a little bit, you know? So keep pressuring bottom side. So it feels really bad Draven's not able to cash in any of these kills. Would feel a lot better if Draven's able to cash in these kills. It does feel really bad that Urgot is able to cash in on 2 plates. That play would have felt a lot better if Draven would have got the cash in. That play may have not been worth because Urgot got so much to cash in, and setting Zoe more behind because she's not losing any minions. I don't even know if that even does much, you know? Because her comp doesn't hinge at all on Zoe being ahead or behind. Doesn't matter. As soon as Zoe gets a Ludens, she still does damage. It matters more about Draven being ahead, not Zoe being behind. You know what I'm saying? So Draven getting that kill and like the minions being pushed up mattered more, or like being in a position where they can push the minions. Because I mean the minions needed to be pushed in a way to where Sion was able to flank. For that play to even make sense, but for that play to be really beneficial, I think it was actually still may have been net positive for G2 or just neutral, but a waste of resources for Origen, you know? Tough to say. Good to go for those types of plays, but really need Draven to cash in. Okay, what is this? Oh, this is Perk's point of view. This is when Frost was saying something kind of weird. She was like, why is he clicking so far away from his champion? Faker clicks really close to his champion. Like, because he's playing Zoe? What do you mean? I don't know what she was. I don't know. It's weird. Yeah, when you play Zoe, you click really far away from your champion all the time. You're hardly ever looking at your screen. I can't play Zoe. It's hard. It's just hard, like looking away from your like. Not that I need to look at my screen the whole time. Just you're like looking completely off your screen, like constantly all the time. You're having to move your champion at the same time. It's confusing to me. Anyways, look at the vision line. See, now the vision doesn't really matter that much. Okay, this was kind of neat. How Mikyx navigated that. He was like, "Oh, that's not what I wanted." Insta cleanses, jumps out. Yep, so now Karthus is kind of online, so now they've pushed their vision line, so G2 has pushed their vision line up to cut across to cut off any type of roam down from a Cassio. Not really like Cassio's a roaming champion, but oop. Instantly Perkz dies again, feels really bad. But this starts to show the power. Like, this is when you start to realize, oh, this is what they're playing. Because imagine if he didn't have stopwatch there. That would have been an Urgot. Or Urgot would have ulted and killed. Would have been the Karthus boom and then the kill right there. So that's the breadcrumbs of what their comp's about to do. So that's opening the door. You're like, oh, like G2's behind and they just did that, right? They almost just killed everybody from a point of being behind, and they didn't have Zoe that entire fight. So imagine Zoe being there. And that was stopwatches used. Stopwatches weren't used, they would have got them. So that's what they're trying to do with their comp. Alright. So let's think about what can Origen do at this point. So at this point, Draven did just cash in, so that's really good. So that's really good for them. Okay, hold on, I'll talk in a second. I will say they shit the bed a little bit. Because Karthus is kind of online now, and that's not good. The Karthus is kind of online now, and and now G2 is just gonna run around the map doing this. So now you're not even playing League of Legends anymore. You're playing a super uninteractive game of League of Legends. So it's kind of hard to know what to do at this point. Because they didn't draft a super hard engage. They drafted a powerful mid laner, powerful top laner, and an early game AD carry. Versus just a pure one-shot poke comp. I think the only way to get around the one-shot poke comp is you have like super hard engage, or you have super good split push is the best way to beat this, and they don't have either. The best way they could have beat this comp is to already be winning. Is to be winning harder than this. They needed to just snowball through bottom. Like they needed to have like the bottom tower taken, you know, at 15 minutes easy, you know, and be pushing out with a 3-0 Draven. And that just didn't happen. With a Karthus who was super behind, you know, like pressuring up the bot lane, and pushing in the inner tower. Boom. See how this comp works? It's insane. Look at this. It's insane. As soon as they get rolling, it's like you can't stop it. Karthus gets to level 11. That was funny. Yeah, once you get behind versus this comp, it's kind of hard to do anything. They just poke you out of your own jungle. It's hard to siege against them. It's hard to do much. So if you're playing a really standard comp, especially if you're playing a really standard comp and your comp kind of hinges, you're playing a really standard comp and then you get into a situation where your only win condition is snowball around your early game bot laner. And then you get behind, like there's really not a whole lot you can do. Boom. So I don't blame Origen a lot for this game, because how can you expect to have to go against this? Because it's the first time something like this is unveiled in quite a while. You know, nobody played anything like this at Worlds. You know, nobody's played anything like this at Kespa or at LCK. I don't know about LPL. I haven't been watching LPL, so I want to try to watch a little bit of LPL this year. But you know, I just added EU to my list, so I just started watching EU. So you know, one day at a time. One region at a time. Maybe add one region at a time. But anyways, but I'm trying to think of ways Origen could come back and win this game, but it's really hard. It really would be on the onus of G2 to just mess it up, because Origen doesn't have a whole lot of catch. They don't have a whole lot of catch potential. They don't have very good siege. They really don't have a whole lot going on for them. They just pick powerful champions that fight pretty well and are good in the mid and have good mid game. They have good mid game fighting, right? Which makes a lot of sense. But you don't even get to play the game whenever like this is happening to you, you know? I do think G2 messes up a little bit. I think some of them do die, but they're just getting a little hyphy. But yeah, once G2's comp gets rolling, there's just not much you can do. Even Deficio said after the game, they were like, yeah, you know, we don't blame our guys, you know. Well, for what we drafted, once we didn't expect this, and once you get behind versus this, you know, not much you can do for what they drafted with. Boom. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and put this in fast forward a little bit, because this is just target practice for the rest of this game, pretty much. This is a really impressive draft by G2. I'm not one of those people who think anybody's trolling whenever they do a draft. Like I'm always one of those people who, when I see like a pick, I'm like, all right, let's see how this goes. Like, okay, like I try to figure out how they're trying to innovate, you know. And this one made a lot of sense. Like when I saw the Zoe bot lane, like I've seen Zoe bot lane before. Like that's not that weird. The Jayce mid lane, like a lot of the stuff made sense, but I didn't put all the pieces together in my mind yet. Like the cogs weren't all moving. Like it didn't seem that troll in the first place, but it all made a little bit of sense. But when all the pieces started coming together at that bot lane fight, I was like, oh my god, this is insane. But like even like partway through the game, I was like, I was just thinking, I was like, huh. Oh yeah, they just get annihilated right here. They don't quite. Yeah. Boom. I was just thinking, yeah, this is basically the end of the game. I was just thinking, I was like, Origen's winning this game, but G2 feel like I was like Origen's winning this game, but it feels like G2's gonna win this. Like I was just looking at their champions and what they do, and I was just thinking like, how are they actually gonna fight these guys? Like when I got partway into the game, and then I saw that bot lane fight where they were just throwing shit everywhere, and I was like, oh, they actually can't fight them at all. How do you actually play this game? So really, just a really smart draft by G2. So really big props to the G2 drafting team, G2 coaching staff. Really big props to them. So it's kind of last ditch effort for Origen. They try to just make some picks down here. Basically all they can try to do. But yeah, once you get behind versus comp, not much you can do. Best chance they had in this game, snowball around bottom side. Make their comp irrelevant by just winning the game in 20 minutes. Was the only way to do that. Other than that, their comp was like the worst comp into them. Basically, just had powerful champions who had a good had a pretty standard fighting comp, but the only way to win against this type of team comp is like crazy hard engage or have like a split push win condition would be the only way that you could possibly beat these guys, really, with what they had going on. And then Jankos ends right here for a kill. No, Jankos died. No. Anyways, all right, and there's the victory right there. That was a really easy VOD review because that was just G2 doing it, man. That was a really cool VOD review though, because like that was really weird. Like when I saw that game, like I knew I was gonna do G2's VOD review for today. But look at Oslo. Look, he's a swag daddy over here. But as soon as I saw them lock in that team comp, I was like, oh, for sure I'm doing this VOD review. And then when I saw that bot lane fight, where I was like, oh, this is how this game's gonna go, I for sure was doing the VOD review. So I was really happy I did this one. So I don't think it was too insightful, but hope it was. Hope I made sense of why they drafted that way and why that made sense. And it was a really genius draft. It really made sense. So I hope to see some more innovative drafts. And that's why I really want to watch EU this year, because they seem to come out with a lot of innovative drafts. I watch LCK a lot, and they come out with a lot of innovative. Actually, come out with a lot of innovative styles, even though a lot of people don't give them credit for that. You know, they say, people they play the old style of League of Legends. That's some people. You know, like some teams will play really old standard League of Legends, but you watch Griffin, and then watch Griffin play. You see the crazy shit they do. But I'm gonna try to watch EU a little bit more. I love watching NA, but they're too scared to do anything. I remember when CLG did Kled Funnel. They tried to do Kled Funnel, and it made a lot of sense, but it didn't work. I'm sure it worked a lot in scrims, but it just didn't work in the specific game they tried. And then everybody like hard flamed them and like calling COG trolls and everything like that. But like I'd love to see that. Like if G2 lost this game, like that's what people would be doing. They'd be like, G2's trolling, like because they saw Karthus jungle and all the other stuff, and they just haven't seen it. Karthus jungle and Zoe bot, and they just haven't seen something like that before. Even though like Karthus jungle has been like all over Korean solo queue and has been played in Korea and in the LPL and stuff like in Kespa Cup, just because they don't know. So I feel like people in NA get like hard flamed for doing that stuff. So it's cool watching EU and LCK when they try to do stuff like that. So I hope more teams in NA try to do stuff like what G2 did today. So that'll be cool to see innovative things like that. So I hope to see more of that from EU, and for NA next week, hope to see that. So anyways, that's it for today's VOD review. I hope you guys liked it. I really enjoyed doing this. Anyways, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.